Could the vitamins you trust to boost your brain and blood health actually be quietly pushing you toward a stroke while you sleep? Picture this. You're reading a bedtime story to your grandson. Your voice is calm, the light is soft and warm, and he's listening intently. Then suddenly, you can't speak. Your right arm feels heavy. One side of your face stiffens. Your vision blurs. You try to call for help, but no sound comes out. That's not imagination. That's what I've witnessed many times at the emergency bedside of older adults who seem to live perfectly healthy lives. They didn't smoke, didn't drink, no high blood pressure, ate their vegetables daily, took vitamins regularly. And yet, they collapsed without warning, struck by a brain hemorrhage in the middle of the night. As a neurologist, I'm no longer surprised, because there's one silent culprit that's often overlooked, something nearly every adult over 60 believes is healthy: vitamins. When you're young, vitamins can boost immunity, sharpen memory, and help prevent bone loss. But after 60, your body changes. Blood vessels become thinner and more fragile. Blood is often thinner, too, especially with aspirin or heart medications. The nervous system grows more sensitive to dosage shifts. The body becomes slower at processing vitamins, leading to quicker buildup. And most importantly, you may no longer notice when something's going wrong. Especially at night, when blood pressure naturally dips, hormones fluctuate, and blood thickens during deep sleep, even a harmless vitamin can act like a trigger for stroke. The real issue isn't the vitamin itself, but how it's used. Wrong dose, wrong timing, wrong person. Sadly, these mistakes often come from a good place. I just want to take care of my health. So which common vitamins become risky when misused? What dose is still safe? And if you're already taking them, what can you do to protect your brain? We'll uncover all of this in the next section, starting with the vitamin often praised as a fountain of youth, yet tragically responsible for many never getting to say their last words. In hundreds of conversations with older patients, I've lost count of how many times I've heard, "I'm just taking vitamin E, doctor. People say it's good for the brain, skin, and anti-aging." And yes, vitamin E is a powerful antioxidant, once hailed as a protective shield against cellular aging. But that very reputation has led many people to trust it a little too much. For younger adults, the body can generally handle vitamin E without much trouble. But after 60, things shift. Blood vessels become more fragile. The lining of those vessels gets weaker, and the body's natural ability to clot blood becomes more delicate, especially if you're taking blood thinners like aspirin, warfarin, or even fish oil daily. We once treated Mr. William, a 72-year-old retired teacher. He was healthy, ate clean, and exercised regularly. One morning, he woke up with blurry vision in his left eye. A few minutes later, he couldn't lift his left arm. At the hospital, brain scans revealed a small hemorrhage right in the area, controlling movement and vision. His blood tests were normal. Blood pressure? Stable. No history of diabetes. But then he mentioned taking 800 IU of vitamin E daily for years. And suddenly, everything made sense. At doses above 400 IU per day, vitamin E starts thinning the blood. Combine that with heart-supporting supplements or medications, and it can disrupt the body's delicate clotting system. Just one weakened blood vessel in the brain, tipped slightly out of balance, can cause serious consequences: slurred speech, paralysis, or worse, permanent memory loss. The irony? Most older adults aren't even deficient in vitamin E. A typical diet with seeds, vegetable oils, and leafy greens already provides plenty. But thanks to marketing and well-meaning advice, many believe more is better. When it comes to your brain, though, more can be the end of the line. So, what's the right way to use it? If you haven't been diagnosed with a vitamin E deficiency, avoid supplementing with more than 400 IU per day. If you're taking aspirin, fish oil, or any blood-thinning medications, stop taking vitamin E on your own and talk to your doctor. A gentle reminder: not everything labeled anti-aging is safe. Some pills meant to keep you young can leave you unable to remember who you are. Over the years working with older adults, there's one phrase I've heard countless times: I take calcium every day to prevent fractures. And almost every time, I follow up with a simple question. Do you get your blood levels checked to see if you actually need it? The answer is usually, no, I just started taking it because a friend recommended it, or I saw it in an ad. Now, supplementing calcium and vitamin D is important when there's a true deficiency. But taking high doses every single day for years can backfire by doing the exact opposite of what you hoped. It can turn your brain's blood vessels into stone. Take Mrs. Linda, a 68-year-old woman who came to my office with mild confusion, frequent headaches, and a sudden rise in blood pressure, despite years of stable health. She didn't smoke, ate plenty of vegetables, took morning walks daily. In short, she was the model student of healthy aging. But when we performed a CT scan, the image shocked everyone. Her arteries leading to the brain were severely calcified, narrow, rigid, and coated like an old pipe clogged with limescale. The cause? She had been taking 1,300 milligrams of calcium and 2,000 IU of vitamin D every day for over 10 years, simply believing that more calcium means stronger bones. What she and many others didn't realize is, as the kidneys naturally decline with age, as small silent damage already exists in the blood vessels, and as blood calcium levels stay constantly elevated, calcium no longer goes where it should. Instead of strengthening bones, it starts settling into the artery walls. When combined with high doses of vitamin D, this process accelerates. The result? Hardened brain arteries, reduced blood flow to critical areas, and symptoms like dizziness, confusion, and even silent strokes. So what's a safe dose? Most older adults need less than 1,000 milligrams of calcium a day, and under 800 IU of vitamin D each day, and only after blood testing confirms a deficiency. And if your diet already includes dairy, leafy greens, small fish, and morning sunlight, you may not need supplements at all. A gentle reminder. Protecting your bones is important, but not at the cost of the very blood vessels that nourish your memory and your words. If there's one vitamin that's long been hailed as a brain booster, it's vitamin B6. Older adults often hear well-meaning advice like, take B complex, it helps with energy and memory. So they start taking it daily, faithfully, for years. But here's what most people don't know. Vitamin B6, when taken beyond safe limits, can quietly damage the peripheral nervous system, leading to tingling hands and feet, numbness, coordination problems, symptoms often brushed off as just aging. I'll never forget Mr. Gerald, a 74-year-old retired mechanic from Kentucky. He walked into my clinic looking puzzled, and his first sentence caught me off guard. "Doctor, I don't know how to explain this, but I feel like I'm not myself anymore." He described a strange tingling in his hands and feet, like ants crawling under the skin. He had trouble keeping his balance, and his memory seemed to be slipping. No diabetes. Blood pressure? Normal. Heart strong. But during the exam, his reflexes and motor coordination clearly pointed to nerve damage. His blood work showed his vitamin B6 levels were over 10 times the upper safe limit. Why? Because for years he'd been taking one multivitamin for seniors, plus one B-complex just to stay sharp on a neighbor's recommendation. Yes, B6 is water-soluble, but that doesn't mean the more, the better. When daily intake exceeds 100 mg, especially for several months in a row, B6 can start inflaming nerves, causing sensory loss, poor balance, and even blood flow issues to the brain. Fatigue, brain fog, disorientation, and falls often follow. So what's considered safe? Keep total daily B6 intake under 50-100 mg, including all multivitamins and supplements. If you're already feeling tingling, weakness, or numbness, stop immediately and get a blood test. A gentle reminder. Tingling hands, sluggish thinking, forgetfulness aren't always part of getting old. Sometimes it's your nervous system whispering, "You've been trying to help, but now I need a break." If you've read that niacin helps lower bad cholesterol, raise good cholesterol, and protect heart health, yes, that's true, but only when prescribed by a doctor at a carefully monitored dose. Because when used incorrectly, especially in older adults, niacin, vitamin B3, becomes a dangerous double-edged sword. It can cause excessive blood vessel dilation, drop your blood pressure in the early morning, spike your blood sugar, and inflame the brain's tiny vessels. A silent storm, putting your brain at serious risk of stroke. Mr. Thomas, a 70-year-old retired firefighter from Arizona, came in with severe morning headaches, mild tremors, and erratic blood sugar readings. He lived a disciplined life, ate clean, exercised daily, no alcohol. But when I asked further, he admitted, "I'm taking 1,100 mg of flush-free niacin daily to lower my cholesterol. Read about it online." No doctor's supervision, no liver enzyme checks, no blood pressure monitoring afterward. The result? Unpredictable drops in blood pressure every morning, sudden blood sugar spikes after meals, and several episodes of dizziness and brief confusion, bad enough that he had to stop driving. Here's the reality. Niacin, especially at doses over 500 mg per day, is no longer just a vitamin. It acts like a powerful drug affecting metabolism, blood flow, and the brain's delicate vascular system. And for someone with already stiffened arteries or unstable blood pressure, it's like slamming the gas pedal while the car is skidding. So what's considered safe? Never take more than 100 millimilli day of niacin without a doctor's guidance. For older adults, especially those with diabetes, high blood pressure, or on heart medications, high-dose niacin should be strictly avoided unless under medical supervision. A gentle reminder. When it comes to heart health, don't let internet advice cost you clarity and balance. Because no one expects that a vitamin they trusted for their heart might quietly be harming their brain. Vitamin K has long been praised for supporting bone strength and vascular health. But what many people, especially seniors, don't realize is this. Vitamin K can be a hidden trigger if you're on blood-thinning medications. Mrs. Joanne, a 76-year-old retired librarian, didn't smoke, ate clean, and walked in the park every morning. She was the picture of healthy aging. No one thought she'd be at risk for a stroke. But one morning, She woke up unable to speak. Her right arm was completely weak. At the ER, the diagnosis was clear: an ischemic stroke caused by a blood clot traveling to the brain. Here's the strange part. She was already on warfarin, a prescribed blood thinner, and her levels had been stable for months. It wasn't until we reviewed her list of supplements that the missing piece surfaced. 2 months earlier, she had started taking vitamin K2, after reading an article online saying it was good for bones and arteries. But here's the crucial detail. Vitamin K is the body's natural clotting factor. When you're on blood thinners like warfarin or apixaban, your doctor carefully monitors your vitamin K levels to keep you in a safe range, not too thin, not too thick. Even one additional supplement of vitamin K, even if it's just a health product, can throw that balance off entirely. And the scariest part, you won't feel it happening. You won't hear the clot move. You won't feel the oxygen draining from your brain. You'll only know when. Your words vanish, your hand goes limp, and your memories begin to fade. So how do you stay safe? If you're taking any anticoagulants or antiplatelet medications, warfarin, Eliquis, Plavix, never start vitamin K supplements, K1 or K2, without your doctor's supervision. Even if you simply change your diet, like eating more leafy greens, let your care team know so they can adjust your medication if needed. A warm reminder. A vitamin won't make you feel better overnight, but it can silently take away your ability to say your loved one's name, if you don't ask your doctor first. After hearing the warnings about high doses of vitamin E, B6, K, and calcium, many patients ask me the same anxious question. So what should I take now? What's actually safe at my age? I completely understand the confusion. Aging isn't just about grey hair. It's about the fear of losing memory, balance, or independence. But the solution doesn't come from a shelf full of shiny supplement bottles. It comes from simplicity, sufficiency, and timing. I'll never forget Eleanor, 81, who lived alone in rural Pennsylvania. Fiercely independent, she didn't want to rely on anyone or take medications blindly. But all the ads promising better brain health, younger blood vessels, and anti-aging miracles left her overwhelmed. During our first conversation, she looked me in the eye and said, "Doctor, I don't need something expensive. I just want to know what actually helps me stay clear-headed." So we began by cutting out all the unnecessary high-dose supplements. No more 1,000 mg of niacin, no more mega-dose vitamin E, no more 1,300 mg of calcium. Instead, I walked her through a few targeted, evidence-backed nutrients that actually support aging brains and blood vessels. Triglyceride form omega-3s, EPA-DHA, taken with meals to reduce vascular inflammation and gently support memory, without thinning the blood like vitamin E, vitamin D, 800-1,000 IU day, but only after a blood test and with medical supervision. Magnesium glycinate or citrate in small evening doses to relax blood vessels, improve sleep, and ease nighttime blood pressure swings. Vitamin B12 in methylcobalamin form especially for those over 60 who absorb less from food to support nerve cells and cognitive function. Within weeks, Eleanor was sleeping better. The dizziness disappeared, her blood pressure stabilized, and most importantly, she felt like herself again. So what's the real lesson from Eleanor? Healthy aging doesn't require a suitcase full of vitamins. Just a few smart choices, grounded in science, not blind faith. It's not the pill, It's the awareness that protects a tired brain. If you've made it this far, I know you're not just watching another health video. You're here because you truly want to understand what's happening inside your body, especially during the quietest hours, when the lights are off, the mind is at rest, and you're simply hoping for a peaceful night's sleep. And yet, it's exactly during those hours that what you've eaten, what you've taken, and how you've cared for your body all day may be quietly putting pressure on your brain, your memory, and the future of your mental clarity. The truth is, vitamin E isn't the enemy, nor is calcium, nor niacin. The real danger lies in the belief that just a little won't hurt. A little blood thinning every day, a little calcium buildup each month, a little invisible inflammation you'll never feel. But after 60, there's no such thing as a little, because the body no longer shouts. It changes silently. And by the time you notice, the cost might be your memory, your speech, or the freedom to walk without fear. So what can you do? Don't guess. Ask your doctor. Don't take a supplement just because it sounded good online. Get a blood test. Know what your body truly needs, and don't ignore the signals. Dizziness, tingling, mild confusion. These aren't just aging. They're warning signs. Now I have a question for you. Tomorrow morning, what will you change first? Will you drink a glass of water before taking your pills? Will you double-check the label on that bottle of vitamins in your cabinet? Or will you share this video with someone you care about, someone who's taking 6 supplements every morning without asking why? Leave a comment below. Tell us what you've learned or what habit you're ready to change. That one comment might be exactly what someone else needs to hear today, because your memory, your health, and the life you deserve to live all begin with one small change.